Now that was a worthy opening game to DreamLeague Season 7. Such a close match that was, you guys.
It was. I mean, we all had our predictions for that game, and I think all of them came true because it was a close enough match where enough things happened.
Yeah,
so.
In the end, Vega Squadron comes out ahead, Jack. I mean, it looked very well for Na'Vi at the start. It looked like they were going to do it.
Yeah, they had an advantage coming out of the lanes. I think they split their lanes very well, and I feel like tactically Na'Vi kind of has an edge. I feel like some of the rotations, especially that one by the shrine, where they had just taken the Venomancer Poison Nova, went straight to the shrine of the smoke and went down to Gank Spectre and take the tower. There were a couple times where you could tell that Na'Vi feels tactically ahead, but in terms of big picture, it's just really a question of how do you break the high ground. I think that's been big in this patch and with the shrines. And that's why you see teams with different philosophies, like the big boss who hits the towers and everyone sits behind him. In this case, they didn't really have a great way of breaking high ground. They almost did it, actually, but that round of buybacks was kind of the turning point, I think. At that point, it was out of reach for them.
Yeah, I mean, the Death Prophet should be a hero that is decent for CJ high ground. During her ultimate, you just stand there, it goes to the job. But I don't know why, why they couldn't close out.
I mean, it's pressure, right? I mean, with all those buybacks, they just ran right at her, and that's kind of what is wrong with the hero right now. Even though her ultimate is really good, she has to really be far ahead. And as soon as people start catching up in levels, experience, items, it's not looking too good. The Death Prophet would be death. It prophetize. I was trying to make a pun.
I think around this time last year, there was a lot of Death Prophet as well, and I think Liquid and some other teams were using it well to push. And one thing they seem to do differently is you don't want Death Prophet to be necessarily the only source of high ground damage or the person who's just standing there. You kind of want someone even in front of her, because no matter almost what itemization you put on her, she's still not that difficult to bring down, and having to stand up there just too hard to protect her, keep her alive when the face rush comes from Vega.
Yeah, we have a replay for you guys to show. It was a fight around the 28-minute mark, and at this point, Na'Vi was still very well ahead. It was a big turnaround fight, high ground defense. Obviously, let's pause there for a second, and let's see what we got here.
I've missed that.
Yeah,
pause, please.
Pause, please. All right, so Na'Vi is sieging. They want to go high ground. They're looking for it. Now talk me through this, because obviously there's a disruptor, and I love Silent's positioning. I don't think he had the greatest of games this game. It's a new role for him, support. But he lands a perfect static storm kinetic field.
Yeah, it's pretty good. As you can see, everybody's trying to run away. There's a lot of chaos here as the boys are trying to make their way out. And yeah, pretty much trapped. But look at that little bear. He's got that ult up. He ain't feeling the pain at all. But here comes the Spectre. The ghostess with the mostest.
Yep.
Jack.
And instantly the blade meal as well.
Yep. Beautiful.
This is the full commit here. Obviously, the Death Prophet has to come up through here to be able to get to the tower, and this is when both teams drop all their ults. The fight is going to obviously break out here. So they're able to take down the Spectre at this point, who's not that farmed. At this point, the ultimate, the exorcism from the Death Prophet and the other damage they have is enough to bring her down. But once the buybacks come out, you see there's the one from Afterlife and the one to follow shortly from the Spectre. Once they come back to life, they just run out of juice. Na'Vi's lineup just ran out of gas a little bit at this point.
Can we pause for a second here? I mean, look how just deep Dendy is. The entire enemy team has been here for this entire time.
Yeah.
Now they got the buybacks. She's trying to run, but it was a great...
And the ghosts are gone by this time.
Oh, yeah. That's one. No more ghosts.
And if Spectre buys back, he can't haunt in because he still has that available. Right there. Aha.
And there's the Abaddon before the draft came. I said that he was pretty great against this hero, and there's the Ghostbuster going in right there. Great slow. You can use, but there's no escape. Nice pick up on the Venomancer right here. Still looking good. Still looks like any moment they can win this, but Abaddon's just soaking up the damage. There he is. He ain't afraid of no ghost. There it goes.
There's a buyback haunt, and what's interesting about that is that the Spectre didn't use the haunt in the previous round of spells we saw, just because of all the mitigation. Like, it wasn't just a good way to fight or spread the team out, because they're all in one spot. You wouldn't necessarily get that extra haunt damage, and then he saves it for this buyback. And at this point, there's just no juice left for Na'Vi.
No juice left for Na'Vi, and there were a couple of more high ground defenses after that from Vega Squadron that they just were able to just repel Na'Vi from the base time and time again. But surely at some point Na'Vi is going to realize, something's going to change. We're not doing it right now. So could they have changed it up? Is there a way where, because it felt like they were just bashing their heads against the brick wall and didn't get any further. But at some point, aren't you going to try to go around the wall I don't know.
I feel like they kind of drafted themselves into a corner, right?
All right.
Because they had a very specific time that they looked like they were going to win. Things were looking good. Vega just happened to hold out at just the right way.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think they were pretty much screwed. And I personally think they would have GG'd out a lot faster if they didn't get $1,000 per win. You know, throw that one away. But they tried their hardest. That's what DreamLeague's all about.
There are some good takeaways, though, if you're Na'Vi, and maybe some points of concern if you're Vega. I remember a fight after Life went in and snatched the Aegis. They kind of chased him down afterwards. Venomancer comes in and gales 3 people at the Ancients, and they chased Venomancer down all the way to the Tier 2 tower. And I feel like for some teams in that situation, the Aegis Abaddon comes in with his passive and starts chopping away or tries to block the Ursa, maybe saves his ally. I feel like there was maybe some miscommunication there. And also we saw with Silent, Fog mentioned before, like maybe this adjustment to a different role that we haven't seen him on as much of. It feels like he was out of position a few times, or got killed a few times. A difficult game for Disruptor anyway, because you're not going to be playing from ahead just based on the lineups and like catching people left and right. You're going to be trying to stay alive and save people or counter this aggression. So not the easiest for him to play, but there are a few times where he looked to be a little out of position, and those are things that Na'Vi can take away going forward.
Yeah, because we are heading into our second game very shortly. So in terms of things we would like to change, we have still got... That's the best line I've heard in my ear. I'm not going to spoil that. Totally thrown off guard. But
let me just say, our producer said, Slacks, move your hamburger. And it was a delicious Swedish hamburger, and I'm not afraid for the world to know it. It was delicious. God bless you and your meat, Sweden. All right? I'm not scared. Go ahead, Sheever.
Thank you. Thank you indeed. So now going into the second game, we saw a lot of teamfight coming out from Na'Vi, but high ground defense is really where it's at. Delaying the game and being able to have that better late game. Because it felt like that was the case for this game. Having the better late game won you the game. Having Spectre, the carry that will carry if the game takes long enough, that's something that Na'Vi didn't have. So are we going to see them completely change up their playstyle?
I feel like they're not going to make such a one-dimensional playstyle. They're not going to have a draft where there's kind of one win condition that they are very confident that they're going to be able to do. Probably going to be expecting them to come up with a few Na'Vi plans, eh?
The cheeses.
The cheese? No, they don't have to cheese, Sheever. These are high-quality teams.
All right, the unconventional strategies.
Hey, there we go.
It feels like Na'Vi was doing this around last year at their peak as well. They'd have this like certain timing that they'd be able to hit. Maybe this meta and this patch doesn't favor that as much. And for Spectre, I mean, we saw during Kiev later on, the better teams were picking Spectre very early on, first few picks. And this hero, even if he gets, you know, for example, EG or somebody else, even if he gets shut down in lane, just having Haunt to be able to help elsewhere and slowly catch up. And then the game's almost inevitably reached this point where the Spectre is able to come online. And if you can't win before then, it puts a lot of pressure on your team to be able to finish games before then. You need either an overwhelming advantage or some kind of very snowbally lineup, something that VP was able to execute very well. So I wonder if that's something that's inspiring some of these teams now. But I think Vega had a good strategic plan and they executed it.
So you think that Na'Vi will ban the Spectre because it's the counter to their team?
They may not have to do it initially. I mean, the Spectre came super late, right?
You said
it was last pick Spectre.
You said it, Jack. They're going to ban?
Maybe they're ready for it.
We shall see.
To be honest, the game that we just watched, I mean, sure, it was like Vega won in the end, but I'm not sure if we can pin it down to one single hero. I don't think there's going to be maybe specifically an extra ban because Vega or Na'Vi played this hero so well. Like, for example, one thing that I was kind of disappointed with in this game, Bounty Hunter and Treant Protector, not as aggressive as I feel like they should have or could have been. I guess it was a bit of a tricky game. We did see Bounty Hunter dive a couple of times and getting some nice track kills, but I don't know. I felt like no hero really shined. It was strategy versus strategy, and then the execution was there, but it was not. There was nothing really sparkling there.
You want to know what that is? You said you couldn't blame it on one hero. You can. It's freaking Bounty Hunter. That hero's Garbo. You make it past 30 minutes, and then you get a game like that. You have one guy that's basically just tracking people. I could buy a ward that can show people. It doesn't matter. Get rid of the Bounty Hunter. Give me a stunner, for God's sakes.
We actually did lack some stuns. We can take a look at if we have stuns for the next game because we are in the draft.
Oh.
Let's see what these two teams have.
Now, Jack said that they would ban Spectre, right? So we'll see. I'm sure it's coming.
Maybe they should ban the Bounty Hunter.
Why would you ban Bounty Hunter? I would beg them to pick Bounty Hunter. I hate that stupid hero.
All right. So, who better to talk about Bounty Hunter than our residents in the war room, who are still waiting for the first picks as well, but we could check in with them and see what they have to say about the draft so far.
Yeah, well, so far bans, we're not going to see any about them. We had to pop that one out on the magical board we have in front of us last game. It isn't going to happen this time around. Fold. Anything that you were expecting with Treant already? Let's get it up. Let's get it up on the
he
ice.
was pretty dominant in the last game, so I would expect them to run it again in the same situation, safe lane.
Oh.
And yeah, the Abaddon, I think this is much better approach here by Na'Vi, targeting Afterlife. I think he showed a lot of dominance on that, so yeah, banning out the Abaddon and his Legion Commander, two of his most signature heroes. So definitely an adjustment already coming out from Na'Vi in this one.
Right, we'll see what Na'Vi want to do here in response. I mean, you know, going from last game, anything that you feel that kind of screams out as could be a bit of a better sort of way to deal with the living armor. We saw a lot of pushes come through from Na'Vi. They had a very push-heavy strat, but they couldn't quite kill towers before. A chance was there for Shoma the Slayer to save them with the living armor.
I just don't know, because like all these teams have different type of strategies. Like I would look at this and I'd be like, I think they should take an OG-esque approach on it. Like they should go for something like a Terrorblade or some. Okay, well this is a cool approach.
I like this is already very different.
This is much better in my opinion too. So they do have the Darkseer and they have the Slaughter grabbed up here. So this is a lot of pressure they can put, and they can also it's big team fight wombo combo, and they can also clear out the living armor very quickly on heroes with the Darkseer.
So where are we putting that one?
I think he's probably gonna do like a dual aggro. In my opinion, for Na'Vi. This is something they used to do a lot, and I think that's kind of the way General plays,
and
in
it's
my
kind
opinion.
of what they did last game. You know, they had two heroes on the offlane, with General and Biver. So Biver Slaughter could certainly work out.
Could definitely be something like that, yeah. Just either one of them definitely trying to put some more aggression onto this tree, because I think that's just the way Na'Vi plays as well. Just aggression.
You know what we got here?
What's that?
We have Virtus Pro reincarnated Na'Vi, and we have OG reincarnated in Vega Squadron.
However, we have a Jug pick, though, so that's a little bit of a difference.
Doesn't matter.
That's what was
I mean, sometimes...
I think it's all here, right?
Sometimes no joke.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Sometimes they do that. You
Sometimes they do what?
That big juggernaut.
Big juggernaut.
OG started to... it does fit, though, with the healing ward, but I think they started to like move away from that more. They were putting No-Tail on more of these just like very dominant heroes, like the Terrorblade, the Naga, and then we did see his Timbersaw, but that I think was kind of game-specific versus an Alchemist.
Yeah. But the illusion heroes, you're right. That's something that we haven't seen yet today, and we only had one game. So, but we also didn't see them banned. So it's kind of interesting that that factor seems completely ignored.
And that was something to watch out for. Again, I feel like Na'Vi laned very well last game, and with the Darkseer Slardar, as you said, very VP-esque first two picks. We've seen them do this so many times, able to really put that pressure in. We saw the vision kind of working out last game for Na'Vi as well. Not sure if they're going to draft too heavily or more in that direction. I thought they'd actually go with like a Wisp draft or something very mobile that would allow them to kind of leverage that being very active all over the map this time against what might be a similar strategy from Vega.
Could be.
You know, while we're waiting, you want to challenge the cameraman a little bit? What do you think?
I see them looking. It's like, what are you saying?
Owen, would you mind surging the Darkseer around the map in a particular way, like we would see, and see if our cameraman can
the
keep up?
classic tier 3 Dire surge straight all the way to the Radiant Fountain.
All right.
So.
There we go.
No, sorry, I spat all over the table there. That was disgusting. Sorry.
That's
sorry.
why they call it a surge.
Yeah, there's no morphing in this game.
Okay,
sorry.
so why was this challenging the
Adaptive
cameraman?
strikes
Because he
everywhere
literally did not have to move.
He could have.
Disruptor Owen.
Disruptor. There we go, boys. One that we saw last game, of course, coming out again.
This is even more VP. Wombo combo. This is pretty much exactly what VP was going for in their game, so.
The purpley blue strap.
Yep.
Can't go wrong with it. Lay it down, straight in the safe lane. Beautifully done.
So we're going to see a TA mid. Is that next to keeping this VP fashion here?
Oh, boy.
And I mean, apart from the Juggernaut, Dazzle is very OG-esque as well.
Yeah, double defensive supports.
And we're keeping this alive.
Yeah,
I
double
don't know why
defensive
you're
supports
shrugging,
and
Flax.
the weave as well versus the minus armor, and Na'Vi actually goes for the Terrorblade. So
there we go.
This is the pushing hero. This is what they were lacking before.
Straight into the bag there. It's going to be on the safe lane, I'd imagine. We may see Mr. Shoma the Slayer hanging around the mid lane. Did at the start of game 1.
Yep, definitely
So I'm
a
going to put him
possibility.
over there for the now. You know, we're going to expect kind of a duel on duel between these two. You know, we can expect G to go, I need someone to hold my hand. Dendy, he's going to say he needs someone to hold his hand. So we're probably going to see a bit of pairing going on in the mid lane. Terrorblade. You probably got it over your side, Giannis, trying to whip it out.
I do have the Terrorblade
Rip
over
out
here.
the old Terror.
Yeah, let me show you somewhere around here.
As has been said before, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's here somewhere around here.
Where have we got the
Where
CB?
is he?
Oh, he's
God.
hiding.
Oh, and I need your
he's
assistance.
by the timber saw.
Is he by the timber
There, I
saw?
think he's at the back.
God. No, he's not.
Oh, he's not. That's a
Oh,
tiny.
oh,
he is there. We found
Don't
him.
whip out the
Oh,
tiny.
we've got him.
Ah, there we go. That's
Hurry.
been a problem before. There we
No,
have it.
we've got the
Terrorblade.
Terrorblade.
Straight
it's
in
fine.
on the safe lane.
Well, I really like the Terrorblade pick, though. It's very good matching
Hey, come on,
versus the
that's
Jug.
dangerously close to TB jungle.
Oh.
We're not having that. Let's move him into the lane, thank you.
It's very good versus the Jug, though, and it's great versus the tree to be able to actually break high ground. So definitely a good pickup there for
Is
them.
that a general bat? No, it's not a general bat. It's an afterlife bat. Both brilliant. We'll have either.
Yep.
There we have it.
So
what
it's a
we're
little
missing?
Bit,
What
it's a
we're
little bit
missing?
different.
We're still looking for the mids. Again, similar to what we saw in game one, they pretty much left two of the cores. I think last time it was the position one, actually, they left kind of the final two picks. But
Yeah, saving him. I mean, they're both trying to hide their mid laners, trying to get a good matchup. I think that is a possibility that we do see, like, the TA.
I'd like to maybe see some kind of high burst, up against a Terrorblade. I mean, what some of these teams, they're kind of ignoring the chance for, like, a Lina core. I'd like to see a Lina mid, G. He's very good on the Lina. Against the Terrorblade, there's certainly a way to deal with him early on, move around the map, get the burst down.
Very hard. The Lina, though, it puts you in a weird spot, because then you have, what, single core Jug in a way, and you're versus a Wombo combo lineup, and you suffer kind of heavily versus that as a Lina, because if you get your initiation kind of messed up, you get jumped on, that just messes with you completely, because you get put on defensive when you want to be on the aggressive.
We'll see what these final bans are going to target from both sides. Panel, any suggestions here for these last couple of picks between the two?
Well, previous game was a Death Prophet and a Venomancer. In terms of predictions, we do have the Venomancer banned out, so they can't do that one again. I'm not sure if... G did have a rough time in that mid lane with that Veno, though.
Yeah. Remember when people said that Zeus was the counter to Terrorblade? Man, nobody picks that hero anymore. I think that's like the worst hero in Dota right now, isn't it? So...
It still has big burst.
But is it good this game, Fogdy? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
So the Veno ban, I'm kind of surprised by that because obviously I'm not sure how well that was with the Venomancer in game number 1. But it could indicate they are planning on getting a TA for themselves.
You're really stuck on this TA right here.
This is the first.
TA.
This is literally the first time that I'm saying it.
I mean, I'm all in. Put all your eggs in that basket. You look like a genius if they pick TA shoes.
Well, I can also say other heroes.
Oh, what's going on?
Just want, I want to have these two a little closer, TB don't want to be left on his own. We saw in game 1, a lot of kind of Pycat being left on his own at the start. I don't think you can do that with TB, especially with the bat there. We're going to make sure that Disruptor is babysitting the TB pretty hard.
What if they take something out of the OG playbook and run this TB mid?
Aha.
No, please.
No,
You
I
don't want to do that.
Would Dendi Terrorblade in the mid lane?
I wouldn't think that they would, but it's not that hard to conceptualize versus a Batrider, because Batrider into Terrorblade in the laning phase can be a little bit tough for the TB, because the turn rate is very, very bad on TB, and Disruptor is not really probably the strongest, but we'll see. I mean, it's a possibility.
I think I got it.
Flex has an idea.
Guys,
What's the idea?
we're looking for somebody that can create space for TB, somebody that Dendi's going to play.
Yep.
In Joker, a good hero.
I mean, it's there.
He's there.
It is there.
He could make some space for TB. He could run around the map, cause some chaos while he's pushing lanes. A little bit of a split pushy kind of feel, and he's pretty darn good at it. Could happen.
Possibility.
And he has last pick, so he can, if it doesn't already counter, then he can still pick something else. So he can just pick the counter to whatever is picked up next for Vega.
They're going
this
to take
will determine, this pick will determine heavily because there is still a life stealer left in the pool. That's something that fits the Na'Vi draft. We've seen that combination again and again from last year onwards, and something that does well against the Batrider as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
natural
okay.
vehicles.
Wow.
So Vega goes for the Death Prophet
Okay,
themselves.
so looking to give Dendi a
Alright.
little bit of lesson in the old DP. As we saw last game, they weren't able to hit the timing. Vega, they're going to try and do it themselves. And I do like it much better when you've got a Jug as well. It's just, you've got this backup that's going to be able to scale. Arguably against the Terrorblade, not as well. I mean, TB late game with the amount of armor that he has isn't going to be great for the Jug to go against, but at least you've got a little more to cover yourself other than going all in on that 24-minute push.
They've got double defensive supports plus healing ward as well with the Death Prophet. Seems like at least a nice game plan that they have going for the summons that can scale, because they do have the weave as well to amplify the Death Prophet. Not only just make her stronger, but make the ghosts also do more damage in that aspect.
So just looking for that final pick for Na'Vi, something to get Dendi on. And could certainly have a bit of a tough time in the mid lane. We've already talked about the expectation of the side lanes to kind of be paired up. TB not wanting to be left on his own. Maybe, as the suggestion comes through, we could see the TB put into the mid lane, but now against the DP as well, it's not a pretty lane, either of them. And,
so they
there we
did
have
go
it.
for the Lina. That was a good call. I
Well,
think
I was
it's
saying
the matchup, I think.
more for Vega, but I think the hero's good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad we're seeing one of the teams pick it up. And apologies for that, we're having a bit of an issue with the graphics, but you don't need graphics when you have the real thing here. Lay it down, Fog.
In the war room.
That's
the
what it's
war
for.
room.
This is non-computer. If all the internet
This
went
is
down,
not
we
virtual.
could still do it.
Yes. This is, you know what you saw at TI, whatever it was, 6? This is like the next level. You know, you don't have VR heroes, we have real heroes.
Yeah. The apocalypse go down, you can still tune into DreamLeague.
Yeah, these ain't going anywhere. We don't suffer from 404s here. We're not going to have any Windows updates kicking in. It's a board with some pictures on.
All right. Thank you for that nice representation in the war room, Odie and Fogged. Now that the draft is done, is it going to be 2-0? Is it going to be 1-1? What's going to happen with the second game? No predictions. No predictions?
They're not needed, Shiver. I
No
think we all know
predictions.
who's going to be winning this game.
Do we? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You still get to predict.
I thought they said no predictions.
I think it was go predictions.
Oh God. Woo. Vega.
All right, I like that last pick. I'll go with Vega.
I'll go for Vega as well.
Hey!
We'll find out who is going to take this second game of our first series of Dream League Season 7. It is over to Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Well, there we have it. The panel very much siding with Vega Squadron for that one. But I've got to be honest, I'm liking Navi's draft a whole lot more than what we saw in Game 1. But for sure, Vega still certainly has their strengths, and it feels like a much more well-rounded Death Prophet strat than what Navi pulled out in Game 1.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about the Lina pick, but I can understand why they did it. They want to have their own kind of stall factor, but it's just so weird to play into Tree, because is this going to be enough for them to break it down? Are they going to have the same kind of coordination that VP did with this Slaughter Darkseer thing? I don't know. I as far as I saw VP doing it, those guys were executing at the highest level with like I don't even think they made one mistake with their vacuum combos, and I think that's very difficult and takes a lot of practice to do. So we're going to see if Navi's able to do it, but I am definitely a little bit concerned for them having this like single card Terror Blade.
Looking at the lanes coming out at the moment, and again, we were pretty much spot on. The only difference we're sort of seeing is we are actually going to see Slardar start off more towards the mid lane than the top lane. But elsewhere, it's exactly as predicted. Shoma the Slayer will be there to back up G, of course, try and give him a good opening against Dendy's Lina. And I feel like between these two, we're certainly going to see a lot closer in terms of CS in comparison to the Death Prophet Venomancer matchup, which, as we saw in Game 1, heavily favored Dendy.
Yeah, this one will... I think this one's actually just even.
Yeah,
I don't think
straight
anyone
up
wins.
even.
It just depends on the rotations that roam in, because they both have high range, they both just have nukes, they both just kind of push the lanes in and get their bottle crow, use shrine. But yeah, Seneko starting mid, deciding to, wanting to, you know, like you said, wanting to help Dendy. They know Seoma is going to be there, so relieving the pressure. And General wanted to be a little bit more greedy. He went for the Iron Talon build, and he's just going to try to maximize as that Darkseer.
And we'll see on the bottom lane how much farm Pycat can find on the TB. Does have the backup, as we were talking about, from the Disruptor. But Afterlife can definitely cause some issues here on the bat early on if he gets a good few stacks built up mid lane. Bit of a go being made. Snako comes in with a crush, but the turnaround there for G and Shoma bringing him down very low with the Crypt Swarm. Will keep himself alive, but a lot of aggression being traded by these two supports in the middle lane.
Yeah, definitely needs to watch his position. It's a good thing he had boots there. The actual uphill miss once or twice, and the extra movement speed actually ended up saving him. Bottom lane, Afterlife seems to be having a pretty good time. He's able to disrupt the wave a lot, getting a couple sticky stacks up and just get as much as possible. But as I'm saying that, okay. He should be able to put a little bit of pressure onto Pycat, though. It's very annoying playing a TB in this kind of matchup.
You have to be very
Mid lane,
careful.
Dendy getting ran up by a hasted tree.
Can they bring him down this time? Being chased right back between the trees.
Nice
There
stun.
will be a hold back with the Light Strike and the Fairy Fire Pot. In fact, he turns and turns, gets the kill. Dendy very nicely keeping himself alive there with some sweet play. That Fairy Fire keeping him in the game. And first blood for the mid laner.
Yeah, nice stun. Just right on top of himself, tree, under the tower. Only level 1, doesn't have the extra bonus of like living armor or anything like that to help him, so. It's a good little turn by Dendy, but maybe an overcommittal by Seoma.
General, of course, finding some very quick levels in that side jungle. Level 4, 2.5 minutes in, soaring complete. So can have the option to go into the lane now and put a bit of sustained pressure on Aloha Dance's Juggernaut. Just to point out, we did have it pointed out that indeed the Rio is Aloha Dance, just playing on an ult account. So both teams are playing with the full rosters today.
I like this now. Sayoma already is like, okay, I did my damage in the mid lane. I shouldn't have died probably, but now I'm going to go bottom. I can at least pressure with the Terrorblade and force my Batrider to just keep that aggression on. We already if you click on Afterlife, you can tell he's already trying to go for very pressuring items. He's going for early Tranquil Boots. It looked like he actually was picking up an early Magic Wand too, so our Magic Wand, and he wants to just be in their faces. Even the Dazzle's starting to make the rotations. They recognize that General is not laning top. We can just move our supports.
Silence walk straight into this here. They won't get the kinetic field trap, but with the chase down, the Thunderstrike, giving them the vision, they'll find him.
That was
the Dazzle down.
A weird angle of approach that he actually did. He ran right through the river, up into a naked high ground of an enemy tri-lane. I think that's quite a big mistake by him, actually. I think if he just comes from the lane, they can just cause the pressure, and they know that their Jug is free farming anyway, so slight mistake there by him.
Hasuyama just on the edge of the sentry. Does have to be careful. If he gets trapped by Biver, the time might be there for Pycat to beat down upon him with this Terrorblade. Looks like he'll be okay. Heads the other way. Top lane, General indeed now with the strong levels and the items ready to go into the lane. Pick up what he can. And hopefully for himself, start to slow down this Jug as Aloha Dance at the moment, top of the CS, has been having, of course, uninterrupted farm at the start of this game. I see Radiant's actually getting sniped out here. So Na'Vi without a method to get those items out, and did have the bottle on as well. So that, oh no, sorry, it didn't. We're looking elsewhere there. So it didn't have anything on, so could have been a lot worse for the side. Yeah, but Dendi managed to get his bottle back out before any trouble happened there, and putting some pressure on very early on here to this tower now with those fiery cell stacks building up.
I like that General did this move though. He got the levels in the lane, or in the jungle, and then he goes to the lane right afterwards. When he sees the supports move, he's like, okay, I'm going to pressure the Jug, maybe try to force some reactions, because they don't want their Terrorblade to be pressured like this on the side of Na'Vi.
Let's see what they can find out here on the bottom lane. Biver and Sneko in the neighborhood to provide Pycat this protection. They're 3 heroes from Vega Squadron that would really like to eye up a potential to go. Pycat plus the Metamorphosis, but Sneko clearly to get tries for a lovely flame break back to knock the Slardar away before the crush connects. We'll keep Afterlife safe. Now they'll turn and put some aggression back onto Na'Vi. Leads it onto Sneko, but they don't quite have the follow-up. But just trying to hold them back and making sure that Pycat doesn't find kill potential here with his first use of the Metamorphosis.
They get the glimpse on the Batrider. He looks like he's in a lot of trouble, but he gets the flame break off against Seneko, holding the stun and able to claim him down. Do they have the Grave? They have living armor as well. Seneko getting turned on.
Look at this turn with Silent and Shioma. They may have lost a kill, but they find a trade at least. They'll turn towards Pycat now. Pycat manning up, beating in hard against the Silent, gets the heal bomb off, but the stick charges, bringing Pycat back up. Will now start to head away. Leech Seed available again in a second. They are going to make the go here onto Pycat, but he still has backup, and General's going to be one to turn up as well with the Iron Shells, bringing Shioma down low. The heal bomb, again, not quite enough to kill off Pycat. Afterlife has now returned to the fray. General chasing down Silent, now out of mana, so General picks up the double kill. They did end up losing the Disruptor as Afterlife was able to dive in deep, pick it up with a flame break. They look to chase down Afterlife, but the crush from Sneko won't connect. So a bit of a mess down there on the bottom lane, but at the end of the day, Na'Vi still maintain their lead, 5 for 2. But more and more space is being given to Aloha Dance. 52 CS at 6.5 minutes in for this job.
That was a sick rotation by General, though. I really like when your offlaners do that. He's not really, like, he can't kill the Juggernaut alone. If he does, it's like a big mistake by the Jug, so he just helps out his tri-lane, which I think is very important when you have a Terrorblade on your team. He's getting so much pressure on him, you have to alleviate it somehow, and what better is than to do a rotation. Mid lane.
Surmising him, but yeah, mid lane seems to be where the action could potentially come through. Seneko trying to ward G back away from Dendi. CS between the two in the mid lane, as expected this time round, very, very close. 39 against the 36. No big difference at all between these two mid laners. Dendi and G both in good positions and definitely positioned to kill and get some action. General being eyed up here by Shioma the Slayer. Could make a go for this here. General is going to get very low. We'll see if he finds the opportunity.
just hiding just outside of vision. Here we go. He's going to have the bash into the leech seed, and should be enough. He's getting himself away with the surge. 1 HP, he ticks out. Very, very satisfying kill there for Shoma the Slayer to find. Freebie, a lot of solo XP and a tasty chunk of gold as well.
500 XP, 368 gold for your tree. That feels pretty good. He's already level 5 now after he was a bit under-leveled from that first death.
Yeah. A little
Top
bit.
lane. Aloha looking to make some aggression onto Biver. He gets the Omni.
Straight away.
With the spin.
There will be TP reactions. Can they punish this? He's at very low mana, of course, the spell's already been used. Suneko comes in close, does have the crush available. The Rio looks to be a little bit faster, of course, with the phase boots. Just outrunning the sprint. Now they'll be able to close the gap. With the living armor, it's already up on him. Dendi's coming with the rotation. They're trying to chase this one down. Does have a Laguna Blade if he can find the range to cast it off. But oh, the Blade Fury! Just in time. The Rio gets himself back up. Looks like he may still go down as they come in with the fire. Dendi finally burns him out. A neat little dodge there with the Q, but wasn't enough to save him. Dendi still finding the kill.
Yep. And during that, Na'Vi actually lost their courier again. So I think Sayuma may have actually sniped it for a second time already with that bash, of course, coming out from the Invis. And G having to use his first exorcism kind of defensively, but he does get half damage on the tower, so nice little movements and plays coming out from Vega and from Na'Vi.
Dendi it. He's found himself Shoma the Slayer walking up to the high ground. Not a lot he can do on his own, though. As, oh, okay, well, if he takes the trees down, that's going to cause issues. General's actually there with the vacuum back, and they'll find the pick-up. Very nicely done again, General, just being in the right place at the right time. Some great movements from Na'Vi early on in this game too. 9-4, Jug still at the top. 9 towards Pycat. Still, you know, Blade Fury does a lot against this hero early on. No way to cancel the TP though. One of the letdowns there of, well, pretty much the whole entire lineup of Vega Squadron. Only really having either the Overgrowth or the Lasso, just relying on 2 ultimates to be able to cancel any TPs at this stage of the game.
During all this, Batrider actually got a ton of space. He pretty much has taken this entire safe lane tower, gotten his drum finished up, almost level 8. So as Na'Vi's making their moves, Vega as well gets big gains on at least the tower advantage here. So mid lane gets brought down to half, bottom tower is pretty much dead, and they claim top tower, so definitely looking good for Vega in that aspect.
So, kind of build. Loyal Dance is going to go for this game on the Jug. Nothing to add to the ordinary so far. Phase. Yeah, Shep Dendi.
Yeah.
Of course, looking to get the straight up Bloodstone. Yeah, that insanely short respawn time, which is going to complement the amount of action that Na'Vi will be ready to look for with their wombo combo as it comes together. Shoma the Slayer, though, he's been doing a lot with these movements, giving a lot of vision to Vega Squadron, letting them know where it's safe on the map to be, and that's pretty much what's enabling Aloha Dance to farm as carefree as he is. Yeah,
the power of the tree just gives so much invisible pressure on the map. The big thing that's concerning for me for Na'Vi right now is Suneko, actually. He's only level 4. He does now actually be able to get up the Tome of Knowledge, but it's only going to push him up to 5. He's still a bit away from that level 6 mark. I mean, not even level 5, actually. Still a little bit shy of it. So just taking a look at the golden experience, it's just slightly in favor of Vega for now. They do get the dust on Sayuma. They've got the vision for him as well.
They should be able to get some back, but no, that actually missed timing there. Biver with a bit of a mess up, doesn't get the timing, and Shoma the Slayer, he's going to be able to ward this one off. In fact, he's ready to turn. Turns around, throws down the lead seed onto Biver, and Shoma just playing incredibly aggressive. May have played too aggressive. There's still a sentry in the neighborhood, but he's going to get himself out of range of it.
Space.
And, oh my goodness, yeah, that mess up there from Biver, unfortunately, meaning wasted time for Na'Vi. They don't get a kill out of it, and as you said, Aloha Dance finding the space to put a lot of pressure onto this tier 2.
Yeah, top lane, Jug's just gonna run away because he has Phase Yasha. I think it's pretty hard for that actually to bring him down here.
They can't, yeah.
He's even got living armor soon if possible if they did want to keep chasing. I think it's just way too difficult for them to actually catch anybody. The Afterlife almost has his Blink Dagger with his drums on the Batrider, so he's feeling pretty darn good. G finished up his Veil already on his way toward that Yule Scepter too. Do think coming out of the laning phase, Vega, even though the kill score is 7-4, Vega is definitely quite a bit ahead.
This is certainly going to be an issue. It's the farm this Jug has, especially in comparison to Pycat. About 2k lead at 12 minutes in. Quite a big difference to have between your two safe laners.
Na'Vi wants to claim an objective. They're like, we've already used meta a couple times now and haven't really even touched the tower because of the tree armor. This is our time to go. We have to make like a full rotation to try to commit.
Good wrap around from the back. We're going to see Biver again, try and go for the place, but there's no way they can catch him. He's got Blade Fury, so you're not going to be able to glimpse him into the Static Storm. Seneko dives deep, immediately taken down there by the Omni Slash into the Blade Fury, and Lucas Shoma getting to position, gets the Overgrowth onto one, but that will be another secured kill here for Vega Squadron. They pick up the double for Aloha Dance, and they're not done quite yet. General on the retreat with the Surge. Pycat heads into the tree line. He'll hide it out. See if they can catch anyone else. Afterlife is going to come hunting, but Pycat was already out with the TP away. There's still 2 kills for Vega Squadron, pushing back Na'Vi. And again, the living armor kicks in. If you're not taking down these towers in one fell swoop, you aren't taking them at all.
Yep. That was another meta committed as well, so meta is going to be on cooldown for the next bit, and that's probably going to be where Vega just claims himself another tower. I don't even know if they need to commit Exorcism on this tier 2. They may actually just be able to save it for Roche or for mid, and just kidding. They actually use it anyway. There's a glyph, at least, for Na'Vi. He just wanted to be safe.
Tier 2, it will fall with that Exorcism up. Move forward here with the Blade Fury from the Jug. Incredibly aggressive plays coming out from Aloha. Does Na'Vi being forced back. The Crush and the Glimpse to bring back the bat, but already they've brought down Dendi. The dive in deep to the tier 3 working out for Vega Squadron. They take the tier 2, and Vega Squadron are out of there. No casualties on their side at all. And this is looking very scary for Na'Vi. 14 minutes in, Vega Squadron hitting their stride and certainly seeming to teach Na'Vi a thing or two about how to use the Death Prophet, as they are having incredible effectiveness with it, all the while keeping their Jug Aloha Dance at the top of the farm and in a great place to continue scaling for quite a while this game.
Yep. And Sayoma is literally just keeping eyes on Pycat this entire time, just following him non-stop. They just seem to be one full step ahead of Na'Vi at this point. Top lane, Seneko, gonna get gone on, brought down as well. These 2 supports on the side of Na'Vi just are not having big impacts on the game. The 2 whiffed Static Storms are definitely really hurting them as well. They're just not able to find the proper initiations.
Understandable. Hey, they are hard heroes to catch, and there's not really much you can do about a Jug unless you get him in the static kinetic field combo straight away. And earlier on, I imagine just a lacking in the glimpse levels may have led to not having the range to get killed, but
nice
mid lane.
play mid.
Nice drag back there. General, it feels at the moment, General's the one making the biggest of plays for Na'Vi. He's been doing some really nice stuff with the vacuums, setting up a lot of positive action. And now go back, and again, who is it? It's General with the chase down, looking for Sioma. This time the kinetic field, it will trap the tree, and they should have no trouble finishing this one off. So Na'Vi do pick up another. General now on a killing spree. Mid lane, Afterlife though, having to look in onto Pycat, knocks him back with the flame break. Does have to be careful though. A lot of Na'Vi around.
Yeah, he had 6 stacks on Pycat, and he went for the flame break, attempted the kill. He actually brings him very low with it.
Yeah, Afterlife. A lot of pressure coming out from him this game. Some very, very nice bat play. He himself still on par with the farm that Pycat's managed to amount to so far this game. Na'Vi looking for a play though. They're smoked up, wrapping around towards the mid lane. Ultimates are up for the most part of Vega Squadron. They have the Exorcism, the Omni, and the Lasso, the big ones that they need for this sort of engagement. General on the front lines, gets the vacuum, nicely done into the Light Strike away onto 2. The Silence coming out onto both of them with the Static Storm, but the Grave is there, trying to keep G alive. He's dragged back, yules himself up, he'll still go down. Na'Vi, they find the first big kill. Now moving towards Shoma. The Amplifier's on him, the chase down is there, but the Dazzle heals enough to keep him alive. Aloha came on the back lines with the Omni Slash, picked up Dendi. Lasso now onto Seneko. The Crush won't connect. There's the crit. Comes in from Aloha, picks up a second. Now a look towards Pycat. Have they got the chase down Blade Fury to make sure that the glimpse from Biver does not drag Aloha away from this man. The Sunder comes out from Pycat. There's the vacuum onto 4. Again, keeping them well controlled. General really holding Na'Vi in a good place this game, but now they're ready to turn back in. It's not quite enough. Vega, they're not held back. Biver with 3 stacks upon him. The jump forward from Afterlife as he's looking towards General. It's a big kill to get. General has been racking up the action, and Afterlife, he'll be the one to claim the bounty. Takes him down, gets a double kill. They're looking return to chase down Shoma. The Amplifier's on him. He'll hold back the slide up with the Overgrowth. Dendi looking for the chain stun. Gets the Light Strike off. The Living Armor not going to be enough to save Shoma the Slayer, as he almost certainly will for one more slap. No, he's not going to quite make it. Okay, they've got the glimpse. No mana from the Dazzle to allow any chance of a shallow grave, so they will get the Treant kill. A lot of action there in the mid lane. Na'Vi picking up some good kills in return, but still the net worth lead maintained by Vega Squadron as Aloha Dance again doesn't get taken down, picks up a couple of big kills in that fight. As it all starts to get very messy, but I mean, General really, this Darkseer player has been pretty fantastic.
Yeah, he's the very good combination that they had there with the Disruptor ulti vacuum and Lina stun. The fight went on for a very long time, and that was without Death Prophet having ultimate up for Vega there, so it was looking pretty good for Na'Vi, but I think this Batrider is having so much impact with his stickies. He actually had like everybody 6 stacked, getting multiple flame breaks off as well. Top lane Dendi, looks he's getting some aggression on him, but Seoma's getting turned on.
He's got a DD as well, and with the Amplifier on him, they've got the vision to go. Shoma will be kept alive.
Combo
again! General grabs 3 in. The Static Storm combination's there, and they'll be able to take down G. Pop the exorcism. No, sorry, he's still alive. It was actually the Dazzle winner. 2 have gone down at the moment. Vega trying to turn with the exorcism and the lasso, dragging in General. They'll get the big kill, but they themselves, they've lost 3. Na'Vi really hitting back hard. These general combos into whatever's follow-through Na'Vi have, whether it be a Static Storm, a Light Strike Array, just doing absolute havoc. The Darkseer pick, the Darkseer play so far, doing so much for Na'Vi's lineup.
Yeah, General is really the salvaging factor. The combination of the vacuum with the reflection as well is super potent. It just, the slow under the lots of burst damage and stuns that they actually have on Na'Vi is definitely starting to become quite prevalent. Seneko getting about halfway toward that Blink Dagger as well, looking pretty good for him. That's where the lineup actually starts becoming a lot easier to function. They can actually set up those combos in a much easier fashion than having to like really time it perfectly with a vacuum Light Strike Array.
Dendi, Bloodstone complete. Yet to have the charges effective. We'll see if they can get him involved in a skirmish and get those started to count up. Top lane, tier 1, maybe look to be pressured. Dendi in the neighborhood.
Yeah, Na'Vi is getting those great fights. They did get like a great fight going on there, but the one thing is that they're still not getting the objectives. The tower is getting healed up to full again. They got it down to about a 3rd HP, and that's what's going to happen when you're versus a tree. You have to be able to get these kills, get the fight pretty much won, and then claim a tower. And I think this is where they're actually going to be able to get top, because Vega didn't look like most set up for it. They don't really have Exorcism either. It looks like they're just going to do their own pressure with the Juggernaut bottom.
Yeah, look for tier 2 in return as Aloha Dance pushes round. So Na'Vi indeed will find the tower. General already cutting the creeps and pushing the lane on even more. Fortification will come out by some time for the tier 2 down bottom, but Aloha Dance standing his ground. G in the neighborhood. Still 30 seconds without that Exorcism at the ready. And they should be able to do it fairly quickly with the Corrosive Haze from Seneko.
I think they know this is up. Vega's booking it directly there, silent.
Yeah, let's see what they can do about this.
Down. Afterlife looks like he's going to scout it out, and yeah, he does. He does see them walking out of the pit. He gets glimpsed, though.
Oh, is it going to be a good glimpse? It will this time. Gets the crush follow through, but the backup's there from the Dazzle. Great overgrowth for Shoma. Holds back 4. They'll try and drag Afterlife back with a vacuum, but he gets the lasso off before the Static Storm is laid down. Drags Seneko into a suboptimal position, and he's taken down immediately. That's going to be the Slardar out and done. Vega looking to continue the fight. Silence onto the TB, but the drag back's there onto G. Glimpsed away from the Terrorblade. Pycat falling low because of the Omni Slash, but he turns. Sunder's there. Heals back up. The reflection as well, trying to force back Vega, but G with the chase down attempt. Yule set up. Exorcism's out. They've cornered Pycat. The Sunder already been used. No escape for Pycat. They'll pick up the TB kill as well. And with the Exorcism still up, they can suddenly head back into the pit, pick up the Roshan. And again, another situation where Aloha Dance is just not dying. He's finding so much. And with the Aegis potentially going to be in his hands as well, Vega are going to have a very strong push when that Exorcism's up again.
And it was Na'Vi trying to go for this rush, but just too much sustain on the side of Vega, unable to really, Na'Vi unable to really bring anybody down, and then they just get the fight turned on them because of this Batrider again. So even though they are having some nice vacuums, it's pretty much, they have to get these nice vacuums for the fights to go decent, and that one generally only hit one person with the vacuum, so it's pretty hard to really have any follow-up on top of that. They still don't have the blink on the Slardar, which is going to be their big enabler for the fights.
Yeah.
And they're really relying on these combos. Like, they really, if they don't have the vacuum into like a Metamorphosis Terrorblade with the Static Storm on top, it's like they can't really take the fights into Vega at all because they just lack the control.
I still need to get Pycat the farm that he absolutely needs. We've seen him make some sweet little plays with the Sunders, but when he's getting swarmed by the entire side of Vega, it's never enough to keep him alive.
Vega's been having really good vision up this whole game too. Not only Sayoma scouting, but he's also been putting very deep wards, so he sees the movements coming out from Na'Vi first, and now they even pick up a very early gem. Silent picks one up and gives it to his Bat Rider, so this is gonna really hinder Na'Vi's map control entirely when they already have little to none because they have no tier 1s claimed, they've lost 2 tier 2s.
Here we go, smoke up from Vega Squadron, ready to make the aggressive play. Suneko being eyed up. Good potential death for him, but no, they'll go on the mid instead. They find General, the bigger kill, bringing him down low. Greaves, is he going to keep him alive? No, not quite. Not quite. Suneko will come in with the Blade Fury. The kinetic field trapping up Shioma the Slayer, but he's got the backup of Silent. Grave will be there, 4-man overgrowth to hold them back, and Aloradon's thinking about going in. Has to be careful. No Omni Slash, drag back down to Shioma the Slayer into the Light Strike Array. No Grave this time from Silent. Still on cooldown. Na'Vi will find a kill in return, and Vega will look to back up. Still respecting the fighting potential there of Na'Vi. Now into the mid lane, wanting to make as much as they can happen with this Aegis usage. If it goes straight out, committing for this tier 2. 10 seconds until General's back. Na'Vi not wanting to fight until they have that Darkseer set up, and they will let the tier 2 go.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Being on the defensive with like a Lina Terrorblade is very difficult, especially when you're playing versus a Bat Rider tree. They just have so much information on the map that they're able to pick and choose when they want to go for the pushes, pick and choose the fights that they kind of want to take. And it's really limiting Na'Vi's farm. They have the Blink now on the Slardar, and Manta's almost finished up for Pycat. But taking a look at the other side, they pretty much already have Maelstrom finished on Juggernaut. Death Prophet has her 2 core items, and she actually even goes for a Lotus Orb as well, which I think is a pretty interesting pickup.
Yeah, very nice. Against, well, primarily, the Sunder and the Laguna Blade. You know, suddenly 2 spells, 2 big ultimates that you are kind of wanting to be using to help bring him down, that you can't. Top lane, Silent will be surrounded. Gets the Grave off in time, but Na'Vi will be able to finish off this Dazzle. No escape for him. He's down for 45 seconds. Na'Vi could certainly look to use that opening to put some pressure onto this tier 2 top, maybe even take it. Sentry laid down. They found Sherman with the blink forward. Suneko has the initial setup. Kinetic field dropped down as well. He'll try and hold them back with the overgrowth, but Dendi thinking about closing the gap. Very timid though. There's the glimpse back into the Light Strike. They'll still follow through, take a second kill. It's Na'Vi getting a good bit of momentum and should allow them to find an objective up here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Definitely a good read there.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And they're gonna actually be able to limit tier 2, and they don't even have to commit meta because he's got it on cooldown for about 10 more seconds, so they're gonna put the pressure another tower there.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Bit of a mistake there. Silent still seems to be like getting the hang of it. A couple little positioning errors, just getting caught out very far in an aggressive position, as and this time as a Dazzle, last time as a Disruptor. Afterlife.
Actually, a bit of a mess up there. It looked like it was a self-Yules to dodge it, but it was actually one of Na'Vi's Yules. So a bit of miscoordination. At the end of the day, Suneko the one to lose his life there, and they'll look to move in for more. G with the Yules set up onto Biva. There'll be a second pickoff here for the side of Vega. As but it was Lina.
It was Lina's Yules, yeah.
Messing up that what should have potentially been a quick and easy pickoff, as both of them going in with the Yules and Crush attempt at the same time, and ends up not resulting in a kill and losing 2 heroes. You pay the price.
I still don't think that's like the best place for them to even try to take a fight though. They're diving like between like at the base, and there's no objectives to gain. There's still tier 1s up. They're just trying to get kills, and kills at this point aren't really what they need. They need to be getting these towers, getting the advantage off of map control. I really like I wanted to just go back to Lotus Orb a little bit more. I like it too, just because the armor and also like removing the Slardar Amplify as well. I think it's like a cool little different pickup that we see some players do. But because you do need some armor item, you need something on the Death Prophet. He did go for the Veil, but he wants to have a little bit more versus this Terrorblade. Mid lane, Dendi trying to get some setup with General, but now they're just going to try to push the lane and maybe try to pressure this tower as well. Exorcism is online though. Omni Slash is cooldown though for the Aloha Jug.
See what they can get it. Smoked up. Looking for a connection, but Na'Vi back, hiding away their side of the map. They're going to go for a smoke themselves. Shimmer the Slayer, though, might be able to dispel this smoke movement. He's in Na'Vi's jungle. We'll see him head across. Finds Pycat. So they know that there's no Pycat actually for this play. This could be a good read for them to
Nice
try and go,
combo
but the
again.
combo is there. Quickly from General gets the two-man vacuum into the Static Storm. They've lost 2 already. G trying to continue a man up the fight here with a good exorcism. Silence onto 2, the overgrowth
root.
as well there for the Shove of the Slayers. He comes in from the back lines. The Lotus Orb, oh, it came out in time. Great Lotus Orb play. Ends up meaning the Dendi, Laguna blades himself in the face, but it doesn't look to matter. Pycat manning up for the fight. The Metamorphosis looking to be enough damage to bring them down. And at the end of the day, Na'Vi clean up. Triple kill for General. And a very, very clean fight for Na'Vi. The only casualty being Dendi, who did laser beam himself between the eyeballs.
But
a
he denied himself.
Oh, he actually got the deny as well.
He
Ooh.
got the Bloodstone off, so
Right.
AoE healed his teammates, so they, even though a couple of them were low toward the Death Prophet, they actually get healed up and able to turn that with the Guardian Greaves as well. Very nicely executed fight by Na'Vi, though. Again, catching the Dazzle inside of the combo. This Silent really has to
This
watch
setup.
his positioning in this
Let's
game.
try this again. Just that start of the fight. G doing a lot as well there. But they're just shaking about. And as we saw there, that overgrowth.
Tower is under attack.
And there we have it. Oh, actually, no. Did the Lotus Orb reflect the?
I think it happened at
It looked like it happened at the same time, didn't it? It looked very
frame.
close. But as you said, he got the deny off. So at the end of the day,
Under attack.
Dendi with the quicker reactions, as I guess he fired the Laguna. He was like, oh, hang on, that's gonna come straight back my way. I better kill myself.
Yeah, General just really coming in clutch in this game so far. With the wall as well to stop the Omni Slash damage, with the Guardian Greaves, just with his vacuum combos.
Look at this, they're ready to go
He's ready
again.
to go again. He's got the Blink Dagger on the Darkseer.
Oh, General really wants to find a setup. He wants to go. They're thinking about it, Na'Vi. Hanging around aggressively. Afterlife will come across there with the superior vision. And tries to make a bit of a pick onto Snake, but the force forward not quite getting it. Snake with a quick blink out. So Vega don't get the grab, and Na'Vi starting to swing this game back around in their favor. Suddenly, Pycat is exactly where he wants to be. He's ahead of Aloha Dancing Farm. Those last few fights massively throwing away kind of the lead that Vega Squadron had, as Na'Vi climbing themselves back into it.
Yep, Na'Vi, they're able to like take fights at a faster pace than Vega, it seems right now. Vega being heavily reliant on the Death Prophet and Omni Slash ultimates, or the Death Prophet and Juggernaut ultimates, while Na'Vi kind of just go time when they have Static Storm, when they have the vacuum combo. And they actually, like, recovering the gem, or getting the gem after the last fight too, they're able to get a lot of map control off of that. It's gonna start being a bit difficult for Vega, since Na'Vi was able to claim a couple towers and secure themselves some map control.
Roshan up in just under a minute. Both teams may look to hold back until that chance comes out. Dendi with the completed Aghanims now.
Great item versus the Jug. Always able to burst him down through the spin.
And we'll see what they can pull off here. Vega smoked up. Creep Waves pushing in onto the high ground of Na'Vi. Afterlife would love to jump in and get a grab. He's going to look to try and attempt it, but with the Dragon Slave connecting, his blink's going to be cancelled. He can't jump in. Will force out just in time, but the glimpse back is there. They'll try and look for him with the blink. He gets it off before any instances of damage connect. Afterlife will be able to play his way out of that one at the end of the day. After a bit of an initial mistake, heading forward under the Dragon Slave and sticking around.
Looks like the push is thwarted though. Looks like they're gonna back up a bit. And they only really have high ground to siege, so they just gotta farm it up a bit and try to be as efficient as possible.
Good news here for Vega Squadron though. They pick up a DD straight outside of the Roche pit as Roche respawns. Will be scanned out by the side of Na'Vi as they will head straight towards the pit. Aloha Dance feeling very confident committing with that double damage. We'll see what Na'Vi can do. They've got a huge wombo combo potential. It's all about the leading from General. There's the jump, grabs two, into the light strike, Static Storm as well. The burst from Denny, they picked up a second. And there we have it. This is so scary for Vega Squadron. Na'Vi have this wombo combo that they are pulling off some big plays off. General with some brilliant lead-ins. Afterlife's actually going to jump back into the pit for what seems to be a very greedy play here. The Firefly wears out and he throws away his life. Unnecessary play there from the Batrider. No chance of stealing Roche of the Aegis as Pycat picks up the kill and picks up the Aegis of the Immortal. They'll head straight towards the mid lane. And this game is actually really starting to slip through the fingers of Vega Squadron. They're making some big mistakes.
Yeah, taking a fight, I mean, trying to go for the Roche there I think is very, very risky when you're playing versus a Darkseer Wombo combo lineup. even if you have like perfect positioning, one or two you're going to get caught in that, and you see exactly what
Oh,
happens.
very
G.
nice little self-force there onto G, dragging him back. They've got the Grave to try and keep him alive here. He's using the Soul Siphon. Is it going to be enough? The heal as well. It's not enough. Dendi comes through with the Laguna Blade. That's going to knock him down to the sidelines for 70 seconds. No buyback available on his Death Prophet, so Na'Vi with the availability to push straight in down the mid lane. Living Armor not going to be enough to stall this push. Tier 3 to fall straight onto the racks. What can they do to stop it? There's the jump forward, but the glimpse is there, breaking the lasso. Dendi will be kept alive for the time being. The Omni Slash bouncing around, not enough to bring down the Lina. Pycat turns straight away in towards the target. The Grave there to buy some time, some chance for Loa does. The healing ward's out. Can it keep him alive? No, it can't. Pycat cuts into him. That's the jug down for 70 seconds. Pycat being focused. He backs away, still holding on to the Aegis. General back in, punches into the racks, finishes off the ranged racks. And Na'Vi, a successful push, a successful siege. Vega Squadron unable to stop it and losing lives as well. Some big plays from Na'Vi and losing their cause time and time again on the side of Vega Squadron. Some really bad fights for them. As constantly G or Loa does just getting caught on the front lines.
Yeah, they just get bursted so easily, and they're so exorcism reliant, and they just get gone on. It's actually really well executed by Na'Vi with the way that they're taking the fights, and it seems like Vega's almost like run out of steam at this point. They are not really able to break high ground because they're never able to get there, but their damage just seems so minimal. It's like they need exorcism to be up and needs it to be like a super long fight, but it's just they're not getting the options for that. Na'Vi's just playing at a much faster pace, and Vega's just not able to prepare for it.
Na'Vi ready to go straight down the top lane. 15k gold lead and really starting to rack up the advantage now, Na'Vi. What can Vega do to stop it? And here we go. Into the high ground. Tier 3 starting to melt. The Solar Crest buffing up Pycat as they throw it in for the back lines. A lot of weight on a Loa Dancer's shoulders. We talked about in the draft tower, you know, in comparison to the Death Prophet strat that Na'Vi tried in game 1. Vega have a little bit more solid potential later on with the Jug, but with starts of fights like this, it's not looking great for Vega Squadron. Immediately lead on onto the Afterlife. They'll get the Omni Slash out onto General. Good setup there with the Overgrowth, but the lag comes through as the Vacuum into the Static Storm catches some of them out. But the Blade Fury already out there for Loa Dance. Looks like he'll keep himself alive. They have lost 2. They've lost the Aegis here on Pycat as they're going to go in for a second attempt on the kill of Pycat. This could be the 3rd kill I've got of the team fight. Pycat, though, able to just get himself out of range. They'll continue to look for the chase down, but the kinetic field's there to hold back Vega Squadron. Shaman the Slayer still looking for a lead in as he comes in under the cover of Nature's Guise. Biva left on the front lines.
They know they need these kills. They're like, we have to get as much as possible out of these fights. Whenever Exorcism's used, getting 2 is okay, but they have lost their lost a couple buildings in the mid lane. I mean, the Raxes were already taken, but the creeps are starting to push a bit. They didn't lose their tower, though, and they're going to be able to heal that one up with the tree at least, so it's a decent fight. And I think this next time coming up, Na'Vi's going to recognize, like, they have to really focus G in these fights. General was the one who got initiated on, so he wasn't able to get, like, the best vacuum combo after Afterlife's Batrider initiation, and G literally just ran in and got full duration Exorcism off, and no one was really focusing him, so I do think Na'Vi's going to recognize that one, that's their big target right now. It's not really the Jug, it's not really anyone else, it's the Death Prophet who's the issue.
See what they can find here. There's Na'Vi backing up. Because certainly expect them to be a little more careful with their attempt next time. And hopefully for themselves, trying to find a fight outside of the base of Vega Squadron.
Na'Vi knows what's up, though. The double Solar Crest, they have Solar Crest on Slardar, they have Solar Crest on Disruptor. They're building Lotus Orbs as well across the board to be able to remove the root, to reflect the lasso.
Did you see that? I think that's General having a bit of a troll. Look what he's queued up on the darks here.
He's got Rapier in his quick buy on General. Oh, he gets the
Oh
combo!
my goodness, General, get that man a Divine Rapier right now. 3-man vacuum combo there coming out from the boy. Buyback from the Death Prophet immediately, but General, I get him that Rapier.
He's
deserves
playing
it.
super well. Honestly, he put this team on his back in this game, and he's executing it very highly. They're just watching their buildings die now at this point.
How do you stop this? It really feels like you've got to throw everything in, and there's the lasso lead in. The Glimpse will be there to break it. Yours to protect Denzi from the Omni Slash initial initiation. Pycat now turning towards the lower dance, who has to back away. The Shrine in love, but again, General with a two-man vacuum into the crush follow through for Snako. They'll pick up both the kills here. G will buy himself some time. It's not enough. The light strike timing's there perfectly from Denzi, and they'll pick up another full second set of racks here for the side of Na'Vi. They'll turn towards the tier 4s in the mid lane, looking to close this one out and find themselves a game in return. Let's see what they can get out of this. Any chance of Vega slowing this one down? Lower Dance will jump forward, but Na'Vi, they look straight towards the Ancient. And there is no stopping them now at this stage. In fact, they'll find some kills on the way down. Aloha Dance getting caught out, bursted down by Dendi's Laguna Blade. They'll find themselves Shoma as well, as he's just offering himself up to the people of Na'Vi. And there we have it. GG, well played is called. Na'Vi pull through and do find a game in return. But again, General Darkseer, some fantastic stuff from him. We saw combo after combo set up by the little purple bull.
Yep, beautiful plays by Darkseer, Death Prophet, just seeming to be like very ulti reliant, very hard to play.
Yeah, the hero not to pick apparently. I mean, it seems like a hard hero to execute, especially in lineups like this where I guess on paper it's like, all right, we're going to be doing a lot of skirmishing. The Exorcism, it's a pretty good spell in terms of getting a tower and finding around a tower push, but so many ways to sort of counter it, fight around it. A lot of kiting. At the end of the day, the spirits aren't really going to bite through that TB's armor too much. He's going to be able to stand pretty tall and strong, and Pycat was as well able to do a lot more on the Terrorblade this game in comparison to the Ursa pick in game 1.
Yeah, General though played incredibly well.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Him and the combos, Snako as well, just being in the right position to crush. Dendi had a pretty strong performance as well. Alina, that clutch Bloodstone to die that we saw in one of those fights that pretty much secured Na'Vi with the heals that it provided at the right time. And even with the farm, the lower dance got at the start, falling off at the end of the game. Vega Squadron drop 1. It's going to be ending 1-1, of course. 2-game series here at DreamLeague as they play for the points and they play for the money. And that's it for this first one. 1-1 between Na'Vi and Vega. Don't go anywhere, though, as we will head straight back to Slacks, Shiva and Jack on the panel.
A 1-1 score for the first series here for DreamLeague Season 7. Na'Vi, I mean, they looked very dominant at the start of Game 1. And Jack, you mentioned all the good things that from Game 1 for Na'Vi, even though they didn't win that game. And they definitely brought it home that second one.
Kind of a flipping of the script in this game. I felt like Na'Vi had some trouble in the laning phase, but ultimately their lineup with their picks and the combos that they have, the little combos, both teams were kind of ult dependent, but I feel like Na'Vi's was much easier to execute for the most part. Even if they connect just 2 or 3 of their ults instead of all of them, they're able to take these fights very convincingly for their opponents. Vega, not much margin for error. In a lot of these fights, you would see either, say, Dazzle caught out of position in a combo or not in position to save his ally at that Roche fight, or you would see Aloha Dance in the last 2 crucial fights didn't even get off his Omni Slash. Without that, there's just not enough damage coming out, and just so hard for them to fight that they kite constantly and they weren't able to take it home.
In other words, Jake, ghosts are bad.
Yeah, Death Prophet sucks. That's what we learned from that series. Whatever team she's on is cursed to die. I mean, that's what you get for hiring a girl like Death Prophet. You're all gonna die. It's not a mystery, people. Don't use that hero anymore. But as we said before, both these teams, they practice against each other. They know each other, and we both said that this series could go either way because of all that kind of experience that they have. So here we are. We're seeing it. And we're seeing 2 teams walk away with $1,000.
Yes,
Woo!
this is actually true. $1,000 for a win here, be that one game of the series, or obviously for the teams prefer to have 2 wins. But in this case, they split it half-half. Let's take a look at some more of the moments from that previous game as we go into the drawing board to go a little bit deeper into some of the team fights that happened. So let's go to the replay.
We should have a Slacks corner, too, of heroes.
Oops.
He's got Bounty Hunter and Death Prophet in there.
Pause, please.
Oh, I've got a list. There we go.
All right. So, what do we have here? Oop, don't toss. Oh, my God.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Keep going, Shiva.
All right. At this point already, we have... this is a fight that I believe Na'Vi end up winning as well. Let's play slowly.
Slowly. Don't rush it.
So before this fight, the Silent and Batrider had both died to the Disruptor combo up here.
Oh, sorry, that was my fault.
Up top. So they're not able to join this fight at all. So the crucial part of this fight here, it comes momentarily when after the stun and after the spells are out, the Juggernaut decides to spin. So this is crucial because there's nothing that really threatens him in terms of magic at this point. These spells have been used, but because that decision to spin, it doesn't end for a while. He's not able to get off his Omni Slash. You're going to see he spins towards the Terrorblade here. So first, here's the Dendi Deny, which just clutch, like split-second play, heals his allies. But then he comes in with the spin, the Juggernaut, and that stops him from using his Omni Slash, which is a crucial bit of damage and preventing the Sunder that he needs to get off to finish this Terrorblade. Instead, he basically gets brought down before the spin ends, and he's going to try to run down here.
Wow.
But he's not able to get that in time. And so with him being unable to get off that Omni Slash, which actually is on cooldown at this point as well, not being able to survive this fight, there's no way they can win here. They need that Dazzle and they need the Batrider. They need Dazzle for a round of sustain and a Grave to stop an entire round of spells and keep their heroes alive. And without those two in the fight, there's just no way they can win this. There's no margin for error.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but this was a fight that they could have disengaged from, correct? They could have just, like Juggernaut, instead of going that way with a spin, he could have just gotten out and gotten out alive without trying to fight 3-on-5.
Yeah, but that's the power of the Terrorblade. You think you can win the fight, and then you have this immense amount of damage coming out just in this huge burst that you weren't expecting. Not to mention his ultimate, too, so it's kind of the strength of the hero. Leading you into a fight that you think that you can win, and then blowing you up.
I mean, overall, I feel like if you compare the two teams, the two games as well, obviously, but score says it's even, but I kind of feel like it wasn't really even. I think that overall, Na'Vi looked a little bit stronger.
In the series, or just that game?
In the series, just overall for future games that we're going to see from them.
I would have to agree with you. I mean, game one, you gotta take off the rust a little bit. Couldn't close out that game, kind of drafted themselves into a little place, but we saw them come through in game two. I'm not sure, though. I need a little bit of convincing. Jack, you see anything
I like
particularly
Navi's
strong?
execution more than Vega. I think for the second game, you saw some of General's vacuum combos into not just the Slardar Stomp, but also the Slithering Crush, but also Lena's Light Strike. So some great combos coming out from them, good execution. I think for Vega, there's some things I've seen. For example, we keep picking on him kind of a little bit. Silent has been out of position a number of times on support in both games. I think game two, I like their draft philosophy. They definitely had a chance, but Juggernaut, maybe not the hero that you want to be protecting with that double here lineup. And also, it was like if they were ahead, they kind of had to go take these fights instead of being in a situation where you have to fight into a Terrorblade, which is very difficult.
Yeah, so it was a combination of obviously drafting issues, but also to know what you can and cannot do with your draft and with the heroes that you have, especially illustrated in that fight that we just saw, just making the wrong call about going to fight. Well, we are going to see Vega again later tonight, so we'll see if they can learn, because obviously that's the whole process. If you lose a game, you learn from it, and even if you win a game, you can learn from it as well. So
it's all learning. Life is all learning, Shiver.
Yes, especially Dota 2. We are in the meantime waiting for our winner's interview. Hopefully we'll get that very shortly. Na'Vi we won't see anymore today, but I mean, based on what you saw right now, would you place them above the top 4 or below the top 4? This is important because top 4 is are the teams that are going to the playoffs. I know it's just one series over, and I'm already asking this question.
Predict the top 4 after one series.
No. Only for these two teams.
For these two teams, predict the top 4 after seeing one match.
Yes.
Well, I will say that Na'Vi is steadily increasing into hype territory, Shiver.
Thank you.
I don't know. It was not a shutout. It's good to see them under some new leadership and some new Senekio power.
Yeah, that's fun to see.
Hype and hopes are up, Shiv. That is what I will get you. Top 4? You're going to have to wait on that. But
I'm aboard the hype bandwagon with you, Slacks. I think we saw some, again, they lost the first game, but we saw some very promising things in terms of execution. I think if they get the drafts together against the different teams that are playing in this league, maybe sometimes they have to go a different direction. I think they could be in a good position here.
I mean, every Dota player wants Na'Vi to do well.
Yes.
We all do. It doesn't matter if you're not a real Na'Vi fan. Everybody wants them at least top tier.
You want to have them in there.
Yeah, of course.
You want to be able to bring them with them and say they were there. So you can cheer for them. So you can hear the crowd cheer for them. That looks like at me with the question mark face.
No, you're fine. keep going.
I mean,
you're hyping me up right now.
Even at the major, people were cheering Na'Vi.
That's
and they
right.
weren't even there.
See how little problems we would have had if Na'Vi was and top tier format was at the event. They'd be cheering for Na'Vi, but hey, at least they would have been in the building.
Yeah.
Would have made a lot more sense. But hey, maybe that is what we will see here in the Dream League ladder. Maybe they'll be scurrying on up there, Jack.
There'll be a lot more Na'Vi fans for you to interact with as well at the LAN, so that would have been fun to see.
Indeed. Because God knows there's not enough Na'Vi fans out there.
There were a lot of Na'Vi fans, a lot of Na'Vi hoodies. Actually, Na'Vi themselves were there as well.
Yeah.
So we were having PyCat was there, Dendy was around. I didn't actually see anybody of the rest, but those two were there.
Oh, they're always. I mean,
Yes.
even if you're not at an event, you're at an event. If you're a Dota player, you know, you got to do some
Well,
sniping. You
especially
gotta
if
do some
their team
whispering.
house is in Kiev, so they were very close.
Well, sure, but you know that back alley kind of stuff. PyCat though, what a name, huh? That's the most European thing I've ever heard
What?
of. Is that
No.
some Euro
There's
thing?
nothing to do with Europeans.
What do you mean?
It's Swedish.
What
'Cause- okay, so pie,
a pie?
the PAJ literally means pie in Swedish.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my
Whoa,
God, you're blowing my
mind
mind.
Has
Explain
nothing,
that to me one more
has
time.
nothing to
Okay.
do with Europe.
Pie. This means pie. Wow. And then what about the cat?
Literally the thing that meows.
Wow. I've
Okay.
learned a lot.
So what's the origin of that?
I don't think I want to know.
I think we can ask him.
Hey.
I think he has explained that numerous times in the past, though. Hey, PyCat.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hello,
Yes,
hello?
we can.
Okay.
Hey, congratulations
Hello.
on that game.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Good too, thank you. Could you talk to us a little bit about your team? Obviously, you just added Seneko. You've already played, I believe, a couple of officials before this, but tell us how it's going.
Well, so far, so good. I mean, we obviously wish we would have won both games. I think we could have won both games,
Okay.
but we're hopefully just getting started.
Look
And I
promising.
think so far, Soneko is a very nice addition to our team.
All right.
Glad to hear.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. PyCat, I got a personal question for you. I mean, you've gone from pro player to sitting right next to me on this couch, being my best friend.
Yeah. What a blunder that was.
Hey, excuse me. Do not
I'm kidding, I'm
insult me
kidding. It
before
was
my.
fun, it was
okay.
fun.
Anyway, can I get some advice as how to become a simple panel member to a pro player that can beat the great Vega Squadron? What do I need to do to reach your levels?
I think you need more dank memes, I think.
I'll work on it, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
It's a two-part question. Second part, do you believe in
All right.
ghosts, PyCat?
Do I believe in ghosts? Well, obviously not after this series.
That is the only right answer there.
Perfect answer.
That was perfect.
Nice.
His memes
All
are
right.
strong. It's good.
Thank you, thank you.
All right,
I
PyCat,
do
I've
my
got two
best.
questions for you. The first is we were just talking about the origin story of the name PyCat, the
God.
meaning rather.
Oh my. I feel like I've told this story so many times, haven't I?
A couple. But just for
Yeah.
people that have missed it, you know?
These are called new fans, PyCat. all right?
Yes.
All right.
Alright.
The origin is, I don't know, there was an old show called Weeble and Bob. It's very long ago. It was two eggs that were singing. And they made this
Jeez,
episode
British.
about pie. And pie is pie in, yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
Pie is pie in English. And then that was the common denominator when me and my brother and friends started playing. And then we needed something to separate us from each other. And everyone picked an animal. And my brother was the fastest one to take dog, which is hund in Swedish. So he became Pie Dog. And then it was on Warcraft 3. So once you selected a nickname, you couldn't, steal that one. So I had to go with PyCat.
I
But
think
now
you
at
got
the
the
end-
better one, though.
I think so too. I realize. I'm glad I got it.
Pie dog. Or pie
I mean,
hund.
Pie Dog is pretty good though.
Would it be pie
Pie dog.
hund or pie dog?
Pie Hund. I don't know. I probably would have changed it to Pie Dog. It sounds a bit better than Pie Hund.
That's pretty
but
hype.
Yes. Because I believe in German, hund is also dog, but I believe that is also used as a curse word or to name call people. So you think you got the better one? Yes.
I do believe.
Thank you, Stewart.
What was your second question,
Jack,
Jack?
please.
Oh, well, my second question is how did what happened at Kiev and how the teams were playing there influence you in terms of this tournament and, say, drafting and things like that?
Well, I think anytime you watch a major or like a tournament with high level play, you always take something into consideration, and you kind of start thinking, why are they doing this, or like, why is this good? Sometimes you can see like even those two teams playing in the finals, their drafts differ quite a lot from one another. And if you would have seen another team in the finals, probably we would see different heroes. So you also need to take into account that it's personal preference at the same time. But I feel like a lot of the heroes that you saw in the finals, like this Terrorblade and what else is there? I mean, we started seeing some Phoenix, there's Warlock, Magnus, all of those heroes. You can see that they will be probably quite popular. And it's something you have to take into consideration, I think.
All right.
All right.
May I ask one more?
All
Podcast,
right.
you used to be on this couch. You know the graphics that we use for the phone call. Who do you
Yeah.
think you are right now? Who do you think is representing you? Is it the lion? Is it the ogre? Take a guess, buddy. You're the drafter.
Oi, lion or ogre? I don't know. I think maybe lion.
Yes!
Yes!
Hell yeah, Pycat! Still one of us.
Yep.
Still one of us.
One of us.
One
All
of
right.
us. One of us.
All right, all right. Pika, thank you so much for talking to us. Hopefully, we get to talk to you a lot more during the rest of the season. That would be
Yes.
fun.
What a pleasure that will be.
You can tell us
Yes.
about your name
Sounds
again.
great.
Yeah, we will
I
ask the
can.
same questions again. No, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again another time. And in the meantime, just have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you.
too, Stever.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Right.
Take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. And that was Pycat from Na'Vi, of course. What a nice guy to talk to.
He knew, man. That DreamLeague stink never leaves you. He knew he had the lion
Do
on him.
you believe in ghosts? Not
Yes.
after that series. That's
That
that
one,
was the
see?
perfect answer.
What a great panelist,
So-
captain, player,
He can do
human
everything.
being.
To be honest, he can do everything. That's the scary thing about Pycat. He can actually do everything. He can cast.
Mhm.
He can obviously be on a panel as well. He probably can press buttons, but not as well as Jack.
Jack,
Do you know what's
you're
happening
the
right
guest,
now?
buddy.
No, I have no idea. What is this red alert going on? Are we under attack?
We're not under attack, Jack. This is the red button, son. Start us off with the first red button push of the season.
Press it.
All right, we're about to get boarded by Klingons here.
It's always a little bit of a wait to see what's gonna happen.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, classic.
Oh,
May the 4th. He's back. Are you vaping inside of that? That cannot be safe. Darth Vader, do not vape inside the mask. Good Lord, how can he breathe?
I don't even know. I don't even want to know. I have an envelope
All
and
right.
3 notes.
What do we got, buddy?
In the envelope, it says, Master of Puppets. You all have a note. I will give you the note in a second. This note has 2 instructions. Carry on as normal, but you must obey the instructions of your note. Start with number 1, and we will let you know when to change to number 2. We are your masters, and you are our puppets. Thanks, production.
Thanks, guys. That's not creepy at all.
All
Everyone's
right,
gonna
I
have
have
a great
not
time.
read them. Oh, they have names
They
on.
have names on
All
them.
right.
Oh, good. So now I know I got the worst one,
Jack.
as always.
All right.
Flax.
All right.
That's
Can I
me.
look already, or do I have to wait? Oh, okay.
I mean, we have to wait.
Do you have to do 1 and 2 together?
No, you only have to do 1 for now.
Oh, that's a pretty good thing for me, though. Cause in my time. Oh, no. What have I done? Please go back there. There we go. Mr. Jackman, what do you got there?
Your transgressions are unacceptable.
Oh, no. Oh, Shiva.
Yes.
Tell me a little story about your childhood now. What do you got from back in the day?
Back in the day. Back in the day, I used to eat loads of candies. I still like to eat loads of candies.
Oh, you need a doctor, girl. You starting to freak me out, you bad man. What the hell are you doing there?
I think you start to freak us out.
I find your accents most disappointing, but I'm glad I don't have to replicate them.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we should move this.
Combine 1 and 2. Well, this is great.
Oh, I feel a groove coming
I
on
don't
there.
even know what's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
But that's fine. Because we can just continue as we were. We can talk about
I have the
everything that we
answers.
want.
Someone is trolling us.
I think.
Connect the hands.
I think I would be soon ready for some more Dota.
Me too.
Can you please mimic what you want to say? For I cannot hear what you're saying.
Your eyes are watering, man. What's going on here? You're taking a lot of effort, no.
You are out of control. So
Hello?
are the people choreographing this.
What the hell is happening? Oh, this is getting real cringy.
Yes, and that is the point.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be high-fiving him, but it seems to make him...
I don't know what's happening.
Stop.
Can you mimic what you're saying? Because I can't.
Just ask yourself, what would Pycat
What's
do?
happening? I can't even know anymore.
So, when do we get to start the wedding?
Never.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's go to a break. I don't know what's happening.
Sounds good.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.